Hey everyone, welcome back to Film Ranks. Today I'm going to talk about Beyond the Spiderverse. Now I'm still aware that the film is still a year away from actually releasing, but if you've seen the other Spiderverse films, I'm sure that it's going to be much more easier to understand what I'm talking about. So there are going to be spoilers, but that's just to be expected. So I'm going to talk about my predictions of what's going to happen in the next film. I think that Miles is gonna be unable to save his father, unfortunately. I think every Spider-Man up to this point has faced a sacrifice, a loss in the family. We see that was Uncle Ben in the first two live-action Spider-Man films was Tobey and Andrew Garfield. And then with Tom Holland, we see it was Aunt May. So it's definitely been common with the male figure, and even with Tom Holland, I think it's safe to assume that he loses Uncle Ben and then he loses Aunt May, so he loses both, which is even more tragic. But we just don't see how Uncle Ben dies because at that point Sony just assumed that we already know that Uncle Ben doesn't make it. So it's pretty common that Spider-Man always loses a family member close to him, in the immediate family that he does have. And for those who don't know Spider-Man's parents, I believe they were like spies or FBI or something, and they died from a plane crash. That's how I remember it. If you have the specific details on that, please let me know in the comments, so everyone can know. But yeah, Spider-Man tends to lose a lot of people he loves, especially in his immediate family. So to me, it won't be a surprise if he can save his father, and if he does, that would be awesome. Like, I would not take that away from the movie if he's able to save his father. Like, that's really impressive. It's just that I honestly think that they're going to kill him just because that's how Spider-Man is designed to develop as a hero. He's supposed to face loss, and that could be the number one person that he is most likely gonna lose first before anyone. And we also see it in one of the Spider-Man games for PS4. Spider-Man PS4 game, we see him lose his father from a bomb attack. He's just receiving an award as an officer. I'm not sure what it is. It's just recognition, and then there's these group of terrorists who plan a bomb, and his son and his wife are at the event. Obviously Miles and his mother, and he gets hit by the explosion and he's still alive, but I believe that he tells Miles and his mother to leave, because there's people with guns, and yeah, Miles finds him pretty much dead, and he is dead, and they go to the cemetery to pay their respects, and that's the last we see of Miles' father. So yeah, because I know this from the PS4 game, playing Spider-Man, and most likely that coming from the canon comic book, I'm sure that that's what's gonna happen. And Beyond the Spider-Verse is that Miles' dad is gonna suffer a tragic fate, and that's gonna develop Miles' character much further. I can't guarantee that that's gonna happen. I can only speculate, and that he is gonna be able to defeat his evil twin from the other universe, and he's also gonna be able to throw down with the spotty guy who can travel through other universes with his portals. Um, yeah, I would have to rewatch Spider-Verse film again just to really remember what happened to the spotty guy, because it almost seemed like he was going, like, he was losing control of his powers. But I think that he was just trying to cause mayhem because no one was taking him serious as a villain. So I think that the spotty guy is still gonna be around, and I think Miles is still gonna have to put a stop to him, if not the other Spider men and women that exist. I think Miles is gonna have to deal with the spotty guy, because last I remember he was like losing control of his powers, and I think that it's gonna be pretty obvious that he needs to take care of that that villain. He's gonna have to take care of him. He's gonna have to fight him and confine him somewhere where he can't do any damage. So yeah, and as far as like Spider-Man 2099, Miguel's character, I honestly think that he's a fool, because if anyone should be locked down and probably getting their powers removed, it should be him, because he was the main suspect of going time traveling. He was the main suspect of time traveling and also altering the timeline to cause more cataclysmic events because of his own selfishness. So if anyone should be being held responsible for doing things that they shouldn't have been doing, it should be him, because he even says that in the film. So he is by far the worst hypocrite to be putting justice on any of the Spider-Man characters. And I know it was done to not have Miles repeat a mistake that he made, but he is assuming a whole lot about Miles, and you know, it's just kind of silly. I think that Gwen Stacy, in my opinion, has pretty much ruined the relationship between her and Miles, in my opinion. And I think it's unfortunate, because I think that they have something really good going on, but I honestly think that she's more into Spider-Man 2099 and not even him. It's the other guy was the Mohawk. I forget his name. Shit, I forget. But I'm gonna put his name right here, and yeah, so she's like into these other type of Spider-Man, and it's really weird. I know she's not like that, but she gives off, you know, like some weird vibes, you know, that she's into other Spider-Man, and it almost seems like she's become this polyamorous type of person. I could be wrong, honestly, but it's just what it seems like in the film. So yeah, I don't feel like she's at all loyal to she's definitely not loyal to Miles, because she chooses Damn over him, and Miles is still able to get away from all of the spider people. Like, none of them can come close to what he's able to do. So I think that it's a thing where when you're on the and when you're in the top hierarchy of like superheroes, it's almost like you're always viewed as a villain, because the more powerful you are, the more harder you are to detain if you become evil. You know, this happens with Superman, and how other heroes like Batman would always be cautious of him, carry some kryptonite just in case he's gonna become evil and kill people out of nowhere. And you know, I guess you can say the same with Miles Morales, but you know, the reason why they're trying to detain him just doesn't make sense. the spider that bit him wasn't supposed to be from his universe, it was from another universe, so he took away another Spider-Man's power. But you know, that the way that happened wasn't in his control, so you can't honestly punish him for that. And even with other Spider-Men, their spider powers didn't come from a choice that they made. The spider chose the host that was gonna get the powers. So you can't really blame a person for getting powers that they weren't supposed to have, because they didn't choose those powers. It was just given to them, you know. And just like Superman didn't choose to be someone who was able to fly and have lasers coming from his eyes and stuff like that. It just happened. Like, he just happened to be born, and you can't control the fact that his parents were from Krypton. So that argument to me is full of fallacy. It's false. It doesn't really work. And I think it was just to make more drama. Of course, it was supposed to make the film more interesting, but you can see through, you know, those little things that don't add up. And I think that they're gonna eventually warm up to Miles, because he is pretty relatable as much as every other Spider-Man. And yeah, I kind of disliked Jake Johnson's Spider-Man in this film too, because he was supposed to have Miles's back, and it seemed like no one had his back. Not him, not Gwen. And yeah, I definitely didn't like 2099 Spider-Man after this film. I think he was pretty full of it. So yeah, we'll see what happens between them and Beyond the Spider-Verse. I think what's gonna happen in this film is like this. I think Miles is gonna lose loyalty to Jake Johnson's Spider-Man. He's gonna lose loyalty to Gwen Stacy more than likely, because she didn't have his back, and he might change his mind later on, depending on how she goes about it. He's gonna lose his father, more than likely, because it's the nature of Spider-Man and losing people close to him, that it's always happening. And we even saw this again in the PS4 game of Spider-Man, where he loses his father when he's like attending this really important ceremony for him as a police officer and getting recognized. And it's gonna happen differently again because of the film. And I think that Miles is gonna be able to defeat whatever antagonist villain that's coming after him, including his evil twin, probably the Spotty guy. And I'm not sure how it's gonna wrap up, but I'm speculating that those things that I just mentioned are gonna happen. So we're just gonna have to wait and see until Beyond the Spider-Verse comes out, and until then I'll make another video. But that basically wraps up this video, and yeah, that's all I got for today's video. Leave a like, subscribe, share this video if you like to a friend, and again, I'll see you in the next one, and that's all I got. Bye.